Sir, sir?
Yes, sir. Now it's live, sir.
Yes, yes. A very good morning to one and all gathered here. I'm Dr. M. Bandi Maharajan, Associate Professor, Department of Public, Nadar Saraswathi College of Engineering and Technology, Patentability Criteria, Tamil Nadu. May I take this opportunity to welcome you all and to extend a further word of welcome to everyone here this morning. Respected Principal, Dr. C. Magalai Sundaram, respected Vice Principal, Mr. N. Madhavan, respected Placement Coordinator, Dr. C. Karthikeyan, various department HODs, dear faculties and participants. A warm greeting to one and all present here for this wonderful session on the topic of converting research into patents, handled by the opt resource person, Dr. Rahul Kapoor. He is the founder and director of Turnip Innovations, Mumbai. He has over a decade of experience in patent information science, teaching, searching, and consulting multinational firms like General Electric and Robert Bosch. He obtained his PhD in Innovation Management from LUT University, Finland, and he has over 15 research articles published in reputed international journals. He is the data architect of IPG-RAM, and he is a global patent analytics platform covering over 100 million patents from over 100 countries. And now I am just to hand over the session to our resource person, Dr. Rahul Kapoor, sir. Rahul Kapoor, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for the kind introduction. Thank you for inviting me. Good morning to everybody. Thank you for attending this session. And I hope you have some very tangible takeaways from this session. So if you have any questions, feel free to write on the chat. I will ask you a couple of questions right at the beginning to warm everyone up, and so you can feel free to write on the chat. And if needed, if possible, also you can unmute yourself and also ask me any question. So let's begin the presentation. The introductions are already done. So I am this session I have prepared for academic scholars, basically, because a lot of people have ideas and they don't have the necessary guidance, or they don't have the necessary way, they don't know the way to think, how they can mature inventions, how they can mature their ideas to patents. So this is what the session is all about. It's very, very practical. So it will teach you how to think and what are the steps you can take in order to start maturing your research, start maturing your ideas into patents. So I have worked in many technology commercialization projects, and many inventors, they have no idea about the patent system. And this is actually normal, not just in India, in everywhere in the world, it's normal. And the inventors don't necessarily need to know 100% things related to patents. If they know just the 20% most important things, they can, achieve 80% of the positive outcome regarding patents. So like just the 80-20 rule. So all right, so to start, I have one question to ask you all, and I will share my screen, and then we can get going. So please write on chat if you can see my screen. I'll be great, will be great if you can interact via chat, because then I will also have a good understanding that people are listening. Great. Okay, so you can see my presentation. You can see my contact details. That's my mobile number, my WhatsApp number, and my email address, rkapoor@ipgram.in. At the end, also I'll share the contact again, so feel free to write. So okay, the first question I have for all of you is, what is the difference between an idea and an invention? I would like all of you to write your own thoughts on the chat, what you think is the difference between an idea and an invention. So this will set the stage for the entire presentation. It will get you warmed up so that, if you are comfortable at home, you are, paying attention. And that is all this, 1 hour of talk is all about. how you can mature your ideas into inventions and hence into patents. So please, I will wait for like few answers, and then I will give my own answers and also, some practical tips and tricks on how to achieve this in reality. So anyone can, take a crack at this from the audience. And use the everyone. Okay, so don't write only to me. You can use to everyone. Planning within the box, and innovation is thinking outside the box. Okay. Well, yeah. So theoretical and practical. Yes, that's a very, very simple, and yeah, that's kind of the direction where we are looking for the answers. Okay. Idea leads to an innovation. Yeah, it's a beginning. Idea is a beginning, and really innovation is all that matters. Idea is just an aim. Invention is what we find. Okay. Okay, anyone else? Will be great to know your thoughts, and don't hesitate to put your own thoughts. Invention is the execution. Yeah, that's Radhakrishnan, correct. Soumya, theoretical and practical. That's the direction we are looking at. Finding novelty in regarding research. Yeah, but what is finding novelty? But invention is invention by default means that it has to be novel, because otherwise it's not an invention. It's already been done. Idea is the inception. Yes, it's the start. It's in the mind, and it's very, very theoretical, vague. First step. Yeah. Invention is finding unfounded things. Yeah. Yes, you are right, Dr. Senthil Prakash. Yeah. S. Mainathan, idea is inception. That's correct. Vidyasagar, first step. Yeah. Invention has value. Yeah, actually, invention has value. True. Arivalagan, that's true. Invention is something what we are aiming for. Idea, it doesn't help because it's in your mind and it really doesn't help the world. Maybe imagination. Innovation is execution of the idea. Okay, Dharmendra Saparia. This is a very perfect definition that I'm looking for. And this is a good definition so that we can proceed. Thank you so much, everybody, for writing and taking part in this exercise. Yeah. Vinayaga Vidya, results of thought. Yeah, exactly. Ideas are in the mind. All right, so let's go through this slide. Keep putting these answers if you are still onto it. I will check it in a bit after 5-10 minutes. But let me go through with this presentation and tell you my own thoughts, what constitutes an invention and what constitutes an idea. And that will be a very important aspect for you to understand what you should aim for. So from our own definition is idea becomes an invention when it can be described in sufficient detail. So concentrate on the word describe. So you have to describe, and the word sufficient can actually be quite extensive depending on the situation. You have to basically describe in very, very precise form what you have in mind. When you start to describe it, that's when idea is becoming an invention. So to give you just an analogy, metaphor, so suppose there is a stone sculptor. Okay, when they see a stone, they already imagine what kind of statue they will make, what kind of form they will make the stone into. So that is an idea. The stone is just an idea. Okay, when they actually start to sculpt it, use their tools, polish the edges, then adding features to the statues, features to the stone, so that it becomes a final statue. That is a final creation, a final invention, which has all the details, polishing, all the creativity of the sculptor is there in the statue. So that's the analogy. Okay, stone is just you can do anything with the stone. That's an idea, and the statue, the final statue that is created, that's the invention, and that's what the world will appreciate. That's what will create the value in the world. So can an idea be patented? The answer is no. Can an idea be copyrighted? The answer is no. So there is no protection out there for ideas in your mind. Even if you write a bit basic things about your idea, which are very vague and broad, even then there is no protection out there for your ideas. So in terms of intellectual property, there is no protection for ideas. So that's why they are in themselves, ideas are not very valuable. So how to describe it, how to define it in sufficient detail, how to create an invention? So the answer is writing. Writing is the most important part of your academic journey. Actually, even now, you might not realize it, but all the academic output that is produced throughout the world, in every university, it's in the form of writing. You have to submit say a bachelor thesis report, a project report. You have to write a research article. So the research article has to be written and it has to be published in a journal. You have to write your master's thesis. You have to write your doctoral thesis. You have to, if you see everywhere, so final output where you are being judged that, okay, you have completed certain, academic points, academic, degrees. The final output is always a written document. So either it is research paper, and even in the terms of patents, it's the same. Patent is nothing but, a well drafted, you have described your invention in a very proper way. That's what a patent is. So even in terms of patents, it's the same. So writing is one of the most important things that you do in an academic setting, and that is how your output is being judged. And same is with the word with patents. So writing is needed to extract features from your idea. Okay, so writing is actually help you going to push your ideas into an invention. Slowly, as you keep on writing more and more, you are describing more and more features are coming out, just like the statue, and final output is ready when you have described it in sufficient detail and shown that you have novelty. And so we will talk all about writing in this 40-50 minutes that we have. We are going to talk about writing, how you should write, how you should think, how you should basically mature your ideas. So in order to guide you in writing, especially in the early stages of the innovation process, where the idea is still in the idea form, very much in your head, and an invention disclosure form is one of the most important things that you can use. So I will show you actually an invention disclosure form, what it looks like, and you will realize that actually an invention disclosure form is not a formality. Actually, many institutes have their own versions of invention disclosure forms. But people are filling it, in the form of a formality. They just write the title and abstract, copy paste a summary, and that is not enough. So I will show you how extensive an invention disclosure form can be, and how it aids in your maturity from idea to invention, and how it takes a lot of time. You cannot, fill an invention disclosure form in one day. It can take even 2 months to fill an invention disclosure form. The reason why it takes so long time is because innovation is happening while you fill the invention disclosure form. While an inventor is filling the invention disclosure form, new ideas come to the head. New, opportunities are starting to uncover. And as you keep writing, you keep understanding more about your own invention, how it is better, what are the benefits, how it is different, and all these things start to become and fall into one place. That is why it is the most important thing for you to get ready to file a patent. And here I want to say one thing. Anybody who has done master's thesis, bachelor's thesis, or PhD thesis, or even written research papers, you all would have realized that when you started to write your document, that's when new ideas started to come. That's when you really, that's when the research actually happened. So a lot of PhD students say that they did 4 years, 5 years of research, and only when they started writing their thesis did, they learn a lot more, because just the fact that writing makes you, learn more. All right, so I will share my screen. Thank you for the answers, everybody. I will check one more time if there are any other answers. No, okay, that was the last answer. So I will show you one invention disclosure form, and how it looks like. But before that, let's finish some slides that we are having. So just to quick an overview of where India stands in terms of patenting. Maybe you have seen all these charts and numbers in other presentations, but I just want to drive home a point, why I'm doing all this, and also why government is taking so much effort in patenting. So you can see these are the top 5 patent offices in the world. China in 2012 became the number 1 filer. US was the number 1, and now China is filing up to 1.5, 1.6 million patents every year. And US is also filing still a lot, still growing, still growing in terms of patents, more than 600,000 patents every year. And usually they say that US patents are very valuable. So even with 600,000 patents, their overall innovation output can be much more than China. So this is the status of the world. That's just what I wanted to show you. As far as the Indian filings are concerned, approximately the total number of patents filed in India is about 50,000. I think in the last annual report by the Patent Office, it was around 56,000, which is about 10-11% increase, which is a lot. And it is also expected in the next decade to increase, with a good, double-digit growth rate. But just to give you a perspective of these numbers, 50,000 is very low. Okay, it's 30 times less than that of China. And if you see who are the top filers in India, that is an even more, picture of concern. If you see all this list, this is from our own application, IPgram. And you can see all these companies are the top filers in India. And all these companies are foreign companies. Qualcomm, Samsung, Huawei, Ericsson, Philips, Robert Bosch, GE, all these companies, they are the top filers in India. In fact, foreign filers are filing up to 2/3 of all the patents filed in India. So out of 50,000, 33,000 patents are being filed by foreign entities. So only 17,000 patents are being filed by domestic Indian applicants. And the topmost, Indian filer is actually on number 14 on the list of top filers. So CSIR, the government research organization, which has so many units across India, they are the number 1 Indian filer, and they come at number 14 in this list. So basically, these numbers are quite low, given that the challenges of economic growth and the challenges of, challenges that we face are quite big. Either it is COVID-related challenges or, global healthcare, climate change, overall, economic growth for the population that we have. So for all these present, so many challenges that to solve these challenges, basically we need a boost in patenting. Innovation, solves all these problems that are created. So we need, if you think about on a macro level scale, India needs at least 2 generations of research scholars, masters, PhD students, to convert their research into patents, to be, get those numbers up to a level which, start to solve the magnitude of challenges that we are facing currently. So even 2 generations, like I'm saying, say even up to next 50 years, we have to, students and faculty, they have to convert ideas to patents. All right, so this was just, a quick idea about the trends and, that the responsibility of, patenting. And I'll show you a little bit about the invention disclosure form. So let me change my screen share. I will share one invention disclosure form that I just found on the WIPO website. So this is the invention disclosure form. This is, I just searched on WIPO, invention disclosure form, WIPO, and I got this, So I'm not going to go through the whole document, but I will show you, just so that it makes sense to you what it means to fill an invention disclosure form. So, okay, so obviously the first thing is title. You have to write in 10-15 words, not very less words, not too many words, just the right amount of description of what your invention is about. And then it's very important to document all the inventors. So you can, patents are intellectual property rights. They are property rights. So they are, it's common to have disputes in the future regarding the patent, who invented it. So it's good idea, at the very beginning to know who exactly all the inventors are. And there should be the names of all the inventors, not like you forget one or you add someone later. So it's better to have a good idea about who the inventors are and all the details of those inventors, the addresses and the contact information. And then comes, what problem does this invention solve? here again, there is a guideline also. Do not describe the invention, but instead focus on the problem that you have found with existing technology. So this, again, before you even start to describe the invention, your invention should solve a problem, should solve a real life problem that the world is facing. And that is a basic tenet of the patent system, that your invention should be useful for being patentable. And then there are certain things that what stage it is, a bit about the details of the invention. And again, there are some guidelines here. Consider the commercial applications of the technology and how they might be applied, how your invention is applied to a product, process, or service. Okay, once that's when you are getting into the patentable part, that okay, yes, your invention is useful and it can be applied to a real life product, process, or service. And the date of creations, again, this is a very important point because there are, like I said, disputes related to patents. So it is a good idea to document the date in the very beginning. And sometimes even, you can be asked by the patent office to provide laboratory records, to provide notebook data, or, some data to prove that, you have invented it on a certain date. So it's a good idea to write a date, and if needed, prove it by, some kind of a record. Here there are some laboratory records and so on. The competitive advantage of your invention, how it is better than the existing solutions. And again, like I said, I'll not go through the entire thing, but I will copy paste you on the chat this document so you can see it in your time. But for the idea about this particular lecture, you might have got a good idea that like sources of funding, it's an important thing because there might be some obligations to the sponsors. Like say somebody who's funding you wants a certain 30% share in the license if the patent is licensed in the future. So all these obligations should be known from the start, and it's a good idea to note as much as so to avoid problems in the future. So who are the collaborators who you have taken help from, any kind of materials used. So depending on the type of invention or the type of technology field, you have to write all these things. So I will go back to the presentation and continue the presentation basically. All right. Okay, what is an invention disclosure form? We saw this, and now let me summarize basically what all I said. What problem does the invention solve? Very important. So what are the commercial applications? Describe the invention in this detail. How does it work? And how is it that it's better or different from existing solutions that solve the same problem? And a brief prior art search, by the way, is needed even while you do an invention disclosure, write the invention disclosure form. Now, in this lecture, I am going to give you a crash course, like 2 to 5 minutes of how to do a prior art search in the early stages. It does not have to be a completely professional patent search because the stakes are not very high in the very early stages. So as inventors, everybody should know the basic prior art search, and that is what I will give you a very, very quick example. And I can also give you resources if you contact me for people who want to know more about prior art search. So yeah, this is the basic things that an invention disclosure form will help you to clarify, and this is what is needed, folks, to mature your ideas to a patent. So yeah, final summary: invention disclosure form is not a formality. It can take a lot of time to fill an invention disclosure form, and always remember that innovation is happening while the invention disclosure form is being filled. So always know that innovation is a process. Innovation is not a one-shot action. There are these stories and anecdotes that somebody invented the the buoyancy in the water, and they shouted "Eureka, Eureka!" All these things are good stories, but as such, innovation never happens like a light bulb. It doesn't like switch on or switch off. It is always a process. It keeps on improving. Even while your patent is in the process, we will learn about the patent system. It's a long system. It takes 4 to 5 years even to get a patent granted. So that doesn't mean that innovation has stopped. New things, you keep on working on new things and improving, and maybe apply even further patents. All right, so what to write? Some guidelines. I have prepared some summary of guidelines. At the early stages, you are the one The inventor is the main person. You have to understand this. Even if you engage a patent agent, even if you engage the patent attorney who is going to help you to draft the patent, you have to understand, you have to write the most part of the invention, because nobody knows more about the invention than the inventor themselves. A patent agent is filing 10 patents every month, okay, 20 patents every month even. So they are not likely to know in depth, what you know about the invention. Even your PhD supervisor may not know as much about your research as the student themselves, simply because you are working on it 24/7. All right, so I have summarized it. You can take a screenshot of this. I will not go through like each and every step in detail, but in general, you can start by broadly defining the technology, broadly defining the problem that is being solved, write some general statements about your invention. And then comes, how each and every component in your invention is structured. By the way, we will look at one very good patent, and we will also see, how the drafting has been done. And you have to draw if needed. So actually drawing is also one more important part along with writing. Okay, since I have been concentrating mostly on writing, but drawing is one of the major complement to your writing. So that's when again, your ideas are being matured, and your invention, your idea is becoming patent worthy. Describe each and every element of your invention. Okay, break your invention down to each and every component, every element, and then describe each and every element, and also describe how elements are connected to each other or how they interact with each other. If needed, describe the external environment in which your invention is operating. That means, say your invention needs a 12-volt external battery supply. So you write that, say it needs a certain humidity level, or it has to be indoors, or it has to be outdoors. Describe the environment in which it is operating. Describe the overall function. Write the differentiating parts from prior art, how you have made significant progress over what solutions are existing. And remember that no one knows more about the invention than the inventor themselves, and that is, this part of the writing process cannot be outsourced. So you have to be the one to write it. And again, if you have understood by now, we are not talking about just the title and abstract or the summary of the invention. We are talking about these are the actual things. This is what it takes for you to mature your ideas to patents. Importance of drawings. Since I mentioned drawings, I want to quickly go through this slide that, okay, patent drawings are again a very important part. It will always complement your writing, and it will always help in clearly making other people understand about your invention. Because one of the tenets of the patent system is also that your invention should be understandable, okay, by a skilled person. If the examiner thinks that you have written your patent or described your patent in a way that it is not understandable, it is grounds of refusal. They might refuse it. So you have to, give as much clarity as possible about your invention. And also at various stages, you will have to convey your invention. You have to communicate your invention to, say, your patent agent, your examiner, to make them understand. Even possibly, say it's in a dispute 10 years down the line, your drawings might help to explain the invention to a judge who will give a verdict that, okay, whether there has been an infringement or not, or whether somebody is infringing on your rights or something. So good drawings will create stronger patents. It goes without saying, but I've mentioned it, that you need good drawings to create a strong patent. And first version of drawings, it is very usual that the inventors will themselves draw it. In some cases, like I know involving professionals might be too expensive. So it is quite usual, I've seen that inventors are drawing. So you can use the common drawing tools. You can even use PowerPoint to draw flow charts. In mechanical, you can use some softwares. You can use some like online tools like draw.io for making basic presentations, flow charts, and all these things. So these kind of explanations via drawings are very, very important. Make sure invention is patentable. So I will show you very quick, this section 3 of the India Patents Act. So Indian patenting is governed by the law of patents, India Patent Act. And I have summarized, what is not patentable, but I will give you this link also in the chat so that you can see more. So frivolous patents, which are, very, like stupid things, cannot be patented. Contrary to public order or morality. it cannot be patented. If it's just a method of agriculture or horticulture, it cannot be patented. Any literary, dramatic, musical, artistic, these are all in the domain of copyright. You cannot patent all these things. Any like plants or animals in whole or in part, they are not patentable. Any mathematical equation or business method or just a computer program per se, that means just the software part of the computer program, or any like algorithm, they cannot be patented. So I will show you this India Patents Act Section 3 very quickly. So, and I'll also give you the link so you can have an understanding of that these are things that cannot be patented. So it might be so that you will not get a patent in that. Let me see where it is. Yeah, it is here. So you can see this is the India Patents Act 1970, and this is Section 3. And what are not inventions? So these are all subsections of this act. So 3A, 3B, 3C, and so you can read it. Like for example, 3K is what I mentioned in the PowerPoint presentation. Mathematical or business models per se. So 3K, Section 3K says that you cannot patent these things. So yeah, I will put this in the chat and continue with the presentation. All right, let's move back to the PowerPoint. All right, so folks, we will actually do some more warm-up exercises, and so that you are just not listening to me. But again, these are things which you might have heard in other places. I am just going to quickly give you an idea that the basic 3 patentability criteria are these. Okay, novelty. It has to be new. It should not be known by the public in any means. Even if there's a YouTube video, which describes your invention in some way, it can act as bad art. It can actually nullify your invention, it can say. So anything in the public, it doesn't have to be an older patent or an older research paper. Inventiveness, that means it should be sufficiently inventive. It should not be an obvious to a skilled person that what you have done, anyone could have thought about. Okay, so you have to prove to the examiners in the patent office that what you have done, a skilled person in that domain could not have just simply thought about it. Okay, so say you add one more leg to a chair. Okay, that will likely be in this inventiveness, so it will not be granted, even if no one else has ever done it before. Industrial applicability. It has to be useful in the broader sense. Okay, so these are the 3 basic tenets you have to prove to the examiner while patenting. It's a long process. I wanted to show you this, that innovation is a journey. Okay, there are many problems in the patent office also, and there are many problems with innovators also, which leads to this long life cycles. So you can see after first filing, which is usually called the priority filing, you have 12 months to file foreign patents with the same invention, according to say international treaties. And after your filing, usually after 18 months, the patent is published, unless you have opted for expedited publication. So you can see after 18 months, the public is getting to know about it. It's published. Now the world is getting to know that, okay, you have invented something and it's out there. And then the examination takes a long time, up to even 4 years, okay, before the grant or refusal is known, that, okay, yes, your patent is granted, or no, your patent is refused. And even after the decisions, there can be many things. Say third parties can oppose your patent, say that, okay, it should not have been granted because of these and these reasons. You can file appeals that, okay, no, it should have been granted. You can, keep it in the system for a while. Or you can also, it's likely people who are inventing, they are filing more patents while the process is going on. So it's a long process. Okay, so you have to think of this one thing, that people who have tens or 20, 100 patents to their name, they are in the research and patenting business for at least 10 years. So 10, 20-year-old people who are doing 10, 20-year research in one domain, they are the people who are likely to have 10s or 20, 30, 40, 50 patents in their portfolio. So because it is a process, and once you do it the first time you do it, it might be very hard, but then you kind of understand the system, and the second, third, fourth patents are going to be much easier for you. So doing it for the first time is a bit difficult, but as you continue your academic journey, you're patenting as a researcher, as an inventor, you will see that over tens of years, over decades, you will have a lot of patents and it will become very easy for you. In India patent filing, so just I've adapted this same timeline chart in the form of like in India patents, like what it happens. So patent filing you have to do, then you have the option to request for early publication. So your patent is published in 1 month. Then the publication happens and you also have to request for examination. In India, it is not automatically examined. So you have to pay some fee to request an examination. And then the examination will happen according to the, the patent office. And after the examination, there will be usually a first examination report, FER, which will raise some objections to your patent. And you have to very successfully answer all those objections one by one. And if the examiner is satisfied, they will grant you a patent. The grant will be published, and then the life cycle begins after the patent. Even third parties can oppose it, and so on. All right. So contents of a patent application. Again, for this, I would like you to take a screenshot because I won't tell a bit I won't go into every subsection. But yeah, the title we already mentioned. The field of invention, it's usually a short paragraph in the beginning that says, okay, this is what the overall field is. Okay, one sentence maybe. So, and then the background of the invention, the current state of the art, what are the problems with current, solutions, and the closest pieces of prior art that you have found with your patent search. The object of the invention, basically what exact problem you have attacked and what is a solution that you have found or researched. Statement of the invention, which basically says, okay, this is the novelty and the inventiveness part of your patent, of your, of your invention. Summary of the invention, a broad overview, then, how to understand the detailed description that you will write. And then you give the detailed description of all the drawings. Each and every drawing should be numbered. Your description should address each and every part of the drawing, by numbers. And that's the detailed description of the invention. And give a complete methodology, the flow of events, any flow charts, any diagrams, and so on. The claims, finally, they are the techno-legal text that define the scope of patent protection. And usually you will need help of a patent agent, patent attorney to file draft these claims, because this you need experience. Usually inventors cannot do it themselves. All right. So please take a screenshot of this if it helps. So these are the things you will have to write for a successful, to finally file a patent in the Indian Patent Office. These are the things you will have to write. And of course, a patent agent will help you to draft in all these things to make sure that all of these things together make sense, and basically you increase your chances of getting a patent. All right. If you think your invention is not ready, you have much less formalities if you file a provisional patent. Okay. I think I won't discuss too much about it. These are things when you have something ready, or you can study this on your own. But in general, you can see this. It helps you get a date for your invention. It gives you 12 months time to file a complete patent, or as you say, complete specification. It's relatively less costly. There's less effort. You don't have to describe in a lot of detail, and you don't have to write a lot of claims. And it gives you time. It gives you time to study the commercial viability, to look for licenses, funding, or anything. And basically, if you think it's useful, you file a complete specification in 12 months. If not, then you can abandon the patent altogether. And it is not published, the provisional patent. So it's in secret. So you don't have to worry about it getting public or somebody stealing your idea. All right. So quick patent search. It's something we will do right now. And just let me see. First, let's do this exercise. Okay, I want you to do this exercise with me. Actually, I want you to do it. So I want you to go to this website, worldwide.espacenet.com, and search for this patent number, US 2006 026 521. I will write in the chat. So that's the website, and the patent number is all right. I want you to write the title of this patent in the chat box. So I want you to search it on your own, go to a different browser tab, open worldwide.espacenet.com, search this patent number, US 2006-026-521, which I mentioned in the chat. You can copy paste it and write on the chat the title of the patent. Okay, I'm going to do it with you. We are going to look at all this patent. It's actually a highly cited touchscreen patent. It's one of the most blockbuster patents of the 21st century, you can even say, because it was a game changer back in 2005 when it was filed, and it led to the current touchscreen revolution that we see today. And we are going to see this patent, how well it is drafted, how well the drawings are, and just so you can keep this patent as a reference. When you are thinking of filing your own patent, download a PDF and keep it as a reference. So I'm waiting from you to write on the chat what the title of this patent is. Okay, just write the title, and then once I see a few people right here, I will also go to espacenet.com. I will search it, and I will also show you the patent actually. All right. So I will go to the website, and meanwhile I have my eyes on the chat message. So if anyone of you is writing, we can have a look. Yeah, Dhiren Patel, yes. Great. Gestures for touch sensitive input devices. So everybody, write the title. Don't worry about repeating it. I know everybody will find the same title. It's the same patent, so you will find the same results. But I would like you to write on the chat. It's a good gesture. So show that you are, involved in the process. Gestures for touch sensitive input devices. Perfect. Now I'm going to, give you an overview of this patent. So I'm also going to search it. Sorry, I think you cannot see my screen now. Sorry, there's some issues happen. Just a moment. Yes, I hope you can see my screen now. Yeah, it should be. So that's the patent, gestures for touch sensitive input devices. So I see some more messages coming up. Yeah, okay, the abstract. Yeah, good. Dr. M. Pandi Maharajan. Yes, sir. Sharan Iani, perfect. Soumya, Dr. S. Prakash, Umang, perfect. Vamsi Krishna. Yes, so we are going to look at this. Okay, Nagara Sitam, perfect. So we are going to look at this patent a little bit, and in eSpaceNet you can actually make this like bigger, or even remove this altogether. So okay, the applicant, the owner of the patent is Apple Computer. You can see these are the inventors who were part of the inventing. So these are the technology classes. You can, in your own time, you can click on it and see what technology fields they belong to. These are all the publications in foreign countries for the same invention. This is a quick title and abstract. So like, great, everybody who wrote, it's perfect. You got it right. So you basically made your first patent search by patent number. So now you can see the basic information in one go, okay, for this patent. And now if you are interested in more details, you can go to the description. You can see this is one of the very, very well drafted patents actually. So you can see I mentioned about the field of invention. It tells you what you should like, what is the overall technology that is being described. So it helps the patent office to assign an examiner, assign the right person to your patent. And now you can see how well they have described. First, they have described the prior art, what's currently out there, what are the problems with the solution. Then they have given a summary of the invention, in a lot of detail. So this is, and each and every figure, you can see brief description of drawings. Each and every figure has a mention in the description. And of course, Apple has one of the best teams, best in-house people who draft and make these drawings. And also I want to show you the drawings. So you can see how well it is drafted, actually you can go to the original document and download a PDF of this patent just to keep it with you, just to have a look, see, how it is done. See the claims, for example, how, they have drafted the claims. And most importantly, what I wanted to show you are these images. So you can see how accurately each and every image. So they are giving you the flow chart, how it works. So they are giving you, how the user is interacting and how the touch on the screen is being processed. What surface area of the screen is being touched and how the program is basically collecting the coordinates on, how to process the search. All kinds of flowcharts are there for different things. Even they have shown how a user is interacting with the device and, how their touch is being processed. So this was, again, folks, for us nowadays, it is very, very normal. But this was back in 2005, 2006, when this kind of touch devices were not very common. So you see how detailed they have given. Even they have shown in the later, like how a user will zoom in and zoom out with the pinch gesture. That is very common nowadays. But back in the day, how say they can zoom in and zoom out a map. They have given exactly how a user is interacting and how the invention works, basically. Whatever they have done in terms of flowcharts, in terms of processing of signals, in terms of, so you can see there's like more than 30 drawings. Okay. And that's a lot. And it basically, I wanted to show you this invention to show you like how a good invention looks like, how perfectly it has to be described, how perfectly it has to be, shown, so that you get an idea of, okay, that what it takes to finally, get your own patent. All right, so moving back to the presentation, there's one more exercise I'm going to give you, okay, before I end the session. And that is, I hope you can see my screen. First, I want to tell you about the search part. So like I said, I will give you a 2 to 5 minute crash course on patent search. And if you want more details, you can write to me an email, and I will give you some videos I did on comprehensive professional patent searches on Google Patents as well as on eSpaceNet. So yeah, okay, to avoid reinventing the wheel, it's very important. Okay, inventors actually usually they have a high opinion about themselves, and they think that what they are doing is novel until they actually get their head down and do some search. And actually, there's even some research that says that 30% of the R&D in the world is actually useless because they've just done what has already been done without knowing, without checking, that it has already been done. And of course, it helps you to inadvertently, if you infringe on others' patents, it will, save you if you do a patent search in the very beginning. And big companies, they keep an eye on competitors and technology trends basically by doing, having a team, in-house team who do patent searches, prepare reports. But from your perspective, from an inventor, how patent search is actually helpful, not just, how it, saves you, but how it is helpful for your invention is simply you are able to learn from existing patents to enrich your own inventions. Actually, there is no patent, no invention that can be done without any prior art. So even the best of the best inventors, they say, like you have heard shoulders of giants, right? So every invention is actually built upon shoulders of giants. So, and anybody who is, at the top of their fields have always learned from, the previous people who have succeeded in that field. So do a patent search, have an open mind and learn from other patents. Okay, it's not necessarily bad that you will find a prior art and then, your invention is over. It doesn't work like that. And prior art, it will help to differentiate your own invention and crystallize the novelty and inventive step. So actually you need prior art. Okay. So basically, how will you show your invention is new or, is significant improvement if you did not have any prior art? If you have no prior art, you don't have any reference to show that you have done something new. So it's almost like it is certain that you will have, prior art, and you should use that to show that, okay, these people have done XYZ, and you have added, ABC over that, and that, is novel and inventive. So it's a good thing to have prior art. Okay, it helps you to, show your own novelty and inventive part. All right, so we are going to do a very quick and dirty patent search. Like I said, so I want you to be on that website only, espacenet.com, where you already searched this. And all you have to do is type your technology phrase. Whatever your invention is, you type keywords related to that. And I will show you how you can progressively become more and more precise with your search results. So I'm going to give you a very quick breakdown of patent search. And by all means, yeah, feel free to write to me on email if you want more information. So suppose you're an inventor in the field of wind turbines. Say you just type wind turbine on eSpaceNet. Okay, I've done nothing. I've just typed the two words wind turbine. You can see these are so many results, 234,000 hits. It's a lot, right? Nobody can process and read this much patents. But one thing that eSpaceNet does is that it is sorted by relevance. So by the keywords, it has a keyword frequency and normalization related algorithm, which gives the the most relevant results on the top. So you can quickly see the bibliographic data, title, abstract to see if it's relevant. If not, just move. And if it's relevant, then you can see more like claims, description, see the drawings, and identify which ones might be important. But it is likely that wind turbine is a very broad area. It is likely what you are doing is something very, very precise related to wind turbine. So let's say you are in the field of wind turbine generators. You are, and now you see I added one word and how the number of results have come down. It almost halved. Okay, from 234,000, it's 124,000. So, and again, the relevance score ensures that you have the topmost hits that are giving you patents related to all these three keywords. And again, actually, wind turbine generator is also a very wide topic. Suppose you are working in the cooling of the wind turbine generator. So because wind turbine generators, when they operate, they produce a lot of heat. So they have to have an active cooling mechanism within the generator. Suppose you are an inventor who's solving that problem. So I just write cooling. So I just added the word cooling, wind turbine generator cooling. And now you can see from 124,000, it became 24,000. And with these relevance scores, you can be sure that 20 to 50 top results you can see, and you can get a good idea about what is happening, what are the most important patents, and something you can use to further develop your invention, or to start to differentiate your own invention. Again, it doesn't have to stop here. You can keep adding. Suppose you have made a cooling mechanism which has you are doing cooling with water. There's a pump involved in the whole system that you have built. The water is being flown in certain channels or paths. So keep adding all these keywords one by one, and you will see how your results are getting narrower and narrower, and your search results that appear over here are becoming precise and more precise, so that you can use these. You can see that this is very, very accurate patent that you can already see if you are a inventor who's solving this particular problem. So, okay, feel free to write your own keywords. Start with broad, keep adding keywords for narrow. Suppose I can write even more, like say channels, if the water flows within some certain channels that you have defined. So you can see how few the search results are now. All right, folks. So that was mostly about patent search. Let me wrap up this session now with some general, summaries. So general info, patent filing fee is quite low actually itself, 1,600 rupees. And for universities also nowadays, the fee has been reduced to 1,600 rupees. So for expedited publication, early publication, you have 2,500 rupees. And like I said earlier, patent is not automatically examined. You have to submit a fee of 4,000 rupees for examination. So usually all these three are, paid upfront. So like 8,100 rupees in upfront for the government fee. The rest is like if you take help from a patent agent, which usually you will, and so that will depend on the professional fees of that patent agent. And once you get the FER, again you will need the help of a patent agent to, basically answer all the objections that have been raised by the examiner, so that you can finally get a patent. General tips: adopt and implement a comprehensive invention disclosure procedure. So if you are an institute and you want to increase the number of patent filings, the first step is to have an invention disclosure process. Secondly, an entrepreneurial mindset is needed. Actually, innovation is nothing. It is closely related to entrepreneurship. So you need a mind where, say you can call 5 patent agents, 5 patent companies, get a quotation, what charges they are, asking, and, get an idea how much money you will have to spend. So all these things you have to do research on your own, be proactive and, find information and then decide, okay, say out of 5 people you called, you think that one person can really help you, and then go with that one person. Involve a patent agent as soon as possible. Honestly, they will help you even to bring out the patentability part or the invention part from your ideas. Like I said, talk to 5 patent agents and finalize, who you want to work with. They will help you. They will help you and conduct a prior art search to, do a bit more professional prior art search. And of course, almost surely they will help you in writing the claims, which most likely inventors themselves cannot do. So do not delay. If you are unsure, consider filing a provisional patent. And finally, I want to summarize that, folks, hard work is needed. If you followed this presentation till now, you would have realized that it is not just about writing a title abstract summary of your invention. It is about precisely answering the questions that are the basic tenets of the patent system. So again, like I've said, wish you all the best. I hope you learned something from this session. It helps you in some practical way. And happy to take some few questions. I can stick around for 5 minutes or so. We are already a bit overboard.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question, sir. Question regarding the patent, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, regarding patent production, sir. Can you please tell something, sir? Regarding patent production.
Yes. Can you be more precise? Patent protection is like a broad thing, right? So what regarding patent protection?
How we can protect our patents? What conditions we have to make, sir?
That I have discussed, sir. Actually, I'll show you.
Yes.
So I told you that these are the main patentability criteria. These are the most important things you have to prove about your invention, that it is novel. It has significantly improves the current, technology, and it should be useful. So this is how you can, once you fulfill these criteria, you can get a patent, and that provides patent protection. The patent provides you protection that nobody else can make or use your invention for a period of 20 years.
Yes. Thanks.
So I'll just put my contact details.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you're adding me on LinkedIn, please put a note on the LinkedIn. Otherwise, I'm not accepting some requests. So yeah, these are my, you can go to turnip.in. So I can also show you or send in the chat. So yeah, you can go to turnip.in. We have Turnip Innovation Festival coming up in January. It's a free registration. There's going to be about 15 eminent, industry leaders who will have a day-long, live streams in January related to patenting, and so all the information is there. So I suggest that you go to turnip.in and register, for free for the Turnip Innovation Festival. It's on 22nd January 2022. So I am giving you the link of the website. Great, thank you for the appreciation. And if you want to do, say, a bit more about patents, I suggest you do the 2-week patent course that I have hosted. It's very low cost, 199 rupees, and over 2 weeks, you slowly understand different concepts about patents, and it's all very practical concepts which you need to know as an inventor. So I'm giving you also one link that has actually all the courses. Some of them are free even, so feel free to register And the 2-week patent course, I would recommend actually for this audience, I would recommend that. It's just 199 rupees. So you can see also the information about that. All right, so, all right, folks. Unless you have one more question, I think I will, end this session.
Audience.
Great. It's my pleasure, folks. Thank you for the appreciation. We are really welcome. Really welcome.
Yes.
Kanan, Pratiksha, Mainathan, Lingeswaran.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Great. All right. Welcome, everybody. Dhiren, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Senthil. All right. So, folks, thank you very much. Good luck. Okay, Vamsi Krishna, I'll just answer a bit about your question. Great. Thank you, everybody. I see a lot of comments and I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, journal paper is research paper, right? It is public knowledge and there is no protection for that. So you do some research, which is new, and you publish in research paper, research journal. But patent is slightly different. It's legal. It has legal rights. If you are within the patentability criteria, the government is giving you protection for your research that no one can copy or make it. So likely patent is more, has a commercial aspect than the research paper. Research paper is more academic and patent is more entrepreneurship based. So likely a product will come out of it. Likely it will be sold in the market. Likely it will be commercialized. And the stakes are high. That is why the protection, the legal protection by the government means a lot. That means you can monopolize that product, and so actually all these things I have covered. All these things I have covered very well in the 2-week patent course. So consider doing that. Great, Aisha, thank you. Raki Muthu, perfect. Mahesh, Dharmendra. It was really pleasure, folks. Thanks a lot. Have a great day ahead, and happy to be in touch. Thank you, everybody. Sir, if it's okay,
yes.
Yeah, I can log off.
Second, sir. Rajesh, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Good afternoon to all. On behalf of the Center for Faculty Development, Nadar Saraswathi College of Engineering and Technology, it's my privilege to give vote of thanks for this national level webinar on converting research into patents. First of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Secretary, Mr. K.S. Kasi Prabhu, the Joint Secretary, Mr. A. Rajkumar, who has given wonderful opportunity to conduct this webinar on this occasion. Then I would like to thank our respected Principal, Dr. C. Madalai Sundaram, Vice Principal, Mr. N. Madhavan, the Placement Coordinator, Dr. M. Karthikeyan, on this occasion. Then I would like to thank the resource person, Dr. Rahul Kapoor, Founder and Director of Turnip Innovations, Mumbai, who has given consent to conduct this webinar even in his busy schedule. Thank you, sir. Then I would like to thank the coordinator of this webinar, Mr. Dr. M. Pandi Maharajan, Associate Professor of EEE Department, and then Mr. M. Rajaguru, Assistant Professor, Physics Department, and Ms. G. Swigala Devi, who supported to conduct this webinar a grand success. Then I would like to thank all the heads of various departments of Nadar Saraswathi College of Engineering and Technology, the faculty members of Nadar Saraswathi College of Engineering and Technology. At last, I would like to thank all the partners from various colleges from all over India. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.